Hi, welcome to dg.com. I've been thinking about lyrics and how bad I am at remembering lyrics. And I've always been like that. Even when I go to the movies, I can't remember faces of people who are the lead actors and actresses. And I'm just hopeless to sit next to when I'm in a cinema. But when it comes to lyrics, I can't even remember the choruses we're singing now in church. But there's one song by Simon and Garfunkel that from the 70s, a couple of lines that I can remember. Here it is. I'd rather be a sparrow than a snail. Yes, I would. If I only could, I surely would. And then Art Garfunkel goes on and he says, I'd rather be a hammer than a nail. I'd rather be. And I'd rather expression in that it requires some thought as to what you'd rather be. It's bottom line thinking. It adjusts your priorities in life. The psalmist did it in Psalm 84. He said, I'd rather be someone on a doorkeeper in the house of God. You know, I'd rather be on the peripheries of the concert of heaven than dwell amongst the valley of tents of the wicked. And I'd rather be. I recently heard Brian Houston use a rather be when he said that he came back from America and just outlined a couple of expressions that he used while he was preaching. I'd rather be an artist than an art critic. I'd rather be a movie maker than a movie critic. And I love that because I just think that, you know, after being a Christian for some time and heading up a church and that it seems like you can easily move into spectator mode, not participator mode. You can become a critic of the church and a critic of the nation because you begin to know a lot. And when you begin to know a lot, you can begin to be a know-all. And when you're a know-all and you stop practicing everything you know, I don't know what comes upon us, but we become critics. I wrote a book recently called Sacred Cows Make Great Barbecues, and it hasn't been published yet because I wrote it when the Florida outpouring was on, and I was so against some of the stuff that I saw that it put a stain through the whole of my book of not just criticism, but maybe a critical spirit. You know, maybe just something that didn't quite represent who I am, because I'm proactive. I can see things wrong, but I'm not here to just to say this is wrong, that's wrong, this is wrong, that's wrong, but to show what's right and to show what ought to be happening through a demonstration of what ought to be happening. So I've already reviewed the book, re-edited it twice, and it came back from the publishing company saying, could you re-edit it again? And I know exactly what they mean because it's still got some stains on it that need to be rinsed out by proactive thought that expresses life on the field, not life in the grandstands. And, you know, so I'd rather be an artist than an art critic. I'd rather paint with something on the canvas of the world than just stand back and criticize what other people have painted. You know, I want to splash the crimson reds of the grace of God, the, you know, brilliant blue skies of faith, and the, you know, yellow orange sunrise of hope. If I can be poetic with you, you know, I'd rather have a paint box open, splashing stuff around, even if it's not that great, than just have a notepad open and criticizing those people who are splashing paint around. I'd rather be a painter. I'd rather be a chef than a food critic. I'd rather be a little chef than a food critic. You know, I'd rather be feeding people with positive, healthy food from heaven's grace than assessing doctrine and assessing style and assessing worship and assessing music and assessing loudness. And how many assessors are there in church? And we've created a little bit of a pick and mix church thing where, you know, because people are looking for the perfect church and assessing and you know, I watch a lot of food programs, and how crispy the skin is on the fish is pretty important. What wine goes with the fish is pretty important. But we're not, you know, we're more, not so much, it's not about the finer details. It's about the carbs, it's about the protein, it's about the sugars, it's about the energy, it's about the health of the stuff that we bring forth. You know, not exactly the presentation of it, but I know that I've been caught up in presentation theology, you know, where the excellence becomes more important than the actual content of things, or more concerned about the level of music than the level of love for people. And so I'd rather be a chef, someone making something, than a food critic. And Jesus said this about what we do with what we've got. He said, with the measure you use it, this is in Mark 4, between 21 and 29, with the measure you use it, it'll be measured to you, and even more. Whoever has will be given more, but whoever does not have, even what he has will be taken away from him. So it seems to me that unless you give out what's been given to you, you'll lose even what's been given to you. Unless you give out what's been given to you, God won't give you any more. So you've got to fake it till you make it, become super spiritual. I really don't want to be super spiritual. I want to be really spiritual. And we've started in our church as of this Sunday, 70 days to exhale. And again, it's been inspired by Brian Houston and by Steve Penny with their 70 days to excel, and excelling in areas of health, in areas of vocation, in areas of spirituality and that. But because our church really needs to expel and exhale everything it's breathed in about what it knows about the love of God, what it knows about the grace of God, what it knows about sin and missing the mark, that I figure that we don't just need to excel in every area, we need to exhale and excel in the area of community, touching our communities and breathing out what we've actually breathed in. And so that's what we're going to do as of this Sunday onwards. And I can see problems. I can see problems in the city. I can see problems in the nation. But I'm here to be a solution maker, not a problem finder. I love what Pastor Steve Kennedy said to our leaders recently. He said that both a buzzard and an eagle fly over the same desert, and both find exactly what they're looking for. One finds death, the other finds life. The buzzard finds the carcass of a dead animal, and the eagle finds a live animal. And when we look at our nation today, wow, am I critical of the nation? There's some fundamental problems with our nation, fundamental problems with morality within our nation, and problems with the governance of our nation, problems with political correctness, problems with secularism, there are problems in our society, and yet I want to be a solution finder. I want to be a solution creator. I want the church to be a microcosm of what I want the nation of Great Britain to be in future times. And so I've got to stay positive and proactive. I'd rather be a Paul Potts from Britain's Got Talent than Simon Cowell. I'd rather be a Martin Luther than a Richard Dawkins. I'd rather be a member of the cabinet than a member of the opposition. I'd rather, and I just think for some of us, we need to, do the equation, do the maths, get the bottom line. What would we rather be doing? And it's made a big difference to me, from how I've been stained by, criticism, but a critical spirit. It's like money. Money's neutral, but it's very near a cliff edge of danger. Unless you put a fence up, a lot of people fall over with the love of money. Same with criticism. It's easy to fall over with a critical spirit. And so I'm just having a bit of wash and getting my church now to look outwards rather than look inwards. And so that's it for me and what I've been preaching lately. And so hopefully that inspires you a bit. And I'll see you next time. Okay, see you next week. Bye.